Sevens. So today I'm just going to be explaining the CAT, which you'll be working on for the next couple of weeks. Remember that if you don't submit it by the due date, you'll lose 5% of your grade every single day that it is late. And after the 5th day, it won't be considered submitted. So, you have that at the front. Alright, so what you'll be doing is you'll be doing sort of like a presentation. I would recommend PowerPoint presentation. But what you're doing is a Treasures of Ancient Egypt presentation. You'll research present a museum exhibit. So in this assessment task, you will develop the following historical skills and knowledge. You'll ask and answer key questions about significant aspects of ancient Egyptian society. You'll understand key concepts of ancient Egypt society. Use historical sources as evidence to learn about ancient Egypt. You'll use and understand historical terms and concepts. So the first part of your task, you are designing a guide to an exhibit of a key ancient Egyptian artifacts that highlight and inform the visitors of your museum about the following aspects of Egyptian society. So you've got social hierarchy, daily life, life on the Nile, religious beliefs, beliefs in the afterlife, and important people, important ancient Egyptians. So what you must have in your guide. So on a PowerPoint, Word document or presentation, create a slide for each of the aspects of ancient Egyptian society. So you'll have one slide for social hierarchy, one slide for daily life, one slide on life of the Nile, one slide on religious beliefs, one slide on beliefs in the afterlife, and one slide on important Egyptians. So far, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slides, plus your front cover, or your starting presentation. And on each slide, you must define the aspect that you are doing, so a social hierarchy is. Explain briefly what the aspect was like in ancient Egypt. So, for example, in ancient Egypt, the hierarchy was. So essentially, you're adding more detail. You might explain why the aspect is important to the society. So, why is the ancient Egyptian social hierarchy important? But you don't need to do that for the daily life. And then you include an image of an artifact that has something to do with the aspect of society. So let's say, for example, for social hierarchy, you might pick a statue of a scribe, and you would include that in your on your slide. So you need to include an image of an artifact that has some relevance to the aspect of society. One of the artifacts, so you have to do an artifact for each of these. So one of the artifacts, has to be hand drawn and labelled by you. So you can draw one of them, or the rest can be a photo or a statue, whatever. The remainder of your artifacts can be images you've copied from the internet. You can have more than 2 artifacts for any topic if you like. You may draw more than one artifact. So if you want to include more than one picture for life on the Nile, you can do that. But just remember, you have to have some sort of artifact to do with it. And an artifact is something that represents that time. So it could be a statue, it could be a painting, but it's done during that time period. So it was created when the ancient Egyptians existed. So explain how the artifact is relevant to the aspect of society using the items on the checklist below. So you might have a picture of, let's go with this mummified cat. So you might actually write a little caption underneath that says, this is a mummified cat. The ancient Egyptians mummified cats because they were sacred to them, and it was quite important for them to honour them by mummifying them. So, this is what you need to have. So for each artifact, you must have an estimated date or when it was created. So, have you done that? A description of the artifact. Have you done that? Identify the artifact as primary or secondary source. If it was done at the time, it's a primary source. If it was created afterwards, right, so let's say for example it's created now, then it would be a secondary source. Information about where the artifact was originally found. For example, was this artifact an illustration or a carving in a temple? Was this artifact found in a burial chamber? Was this artifact found at an archaeological dig? Was this artifact found on the banks of the Nile? You must justify why it would be in the exhibit. Why is it relevant to the social aspect of society? So why did you include it? Why do you think it's important for people to know this? And then comment on its significance in how we know and understand more about ancient Egypt. So how does it help us to understand more about that object? So on the last page of your presentation, you should summarize in 2 or 3 paragraphs the main things you have learned or appreciated about ancient Egypt based on the artifacts and information you've researched and presented. You must acknowledge where you found your pictures or ideas for your artifacts in your bibliography. So you can't just get images off of Google, you have to say where you got them. Alright, so you must use the correct terminology, so there's some information or some terms there. How to do your research. So ask questions and collect information using a research chart provided by your teacher, and that is below here. So, who, what, when, where, why, and how. Right? So you should try to actually include this in your notes, and you'll need to submit it along with your CAT. So what you need to do is pretty much answer these questions. So what was the name of the artifact? So let's go with a mummified cat. Was it primary or secondary? So you'd write that it was primary because it was created at the time. Where did they find it? In, let's say, a burial chamber. Right? So what is it? Who created it? When was it created? Why was it created? Where? How? And then what did you find out about that mummified cat? Where you got your information from, so you put your URL there. Is it a good reference? And you need to do this for a couple of them, and you get marked on this. So here's the rubric here, right? So this is what the rubric looks like. You should be looking at this section here. So artifacts are organized in chronological order. You've done all the relevant information. You've actually put in a good amount of detail. This one here, all the requirements of the research charter adhered to. So this thing here, you need to fill it in. It is marked. So you need to make sure that you have it and that you've answered the questions carefully. So all artifacts have been correctly identified, and you've got everything that you need for that. And then you've got to make sure that you don't have any spelling mistakes. Make sure that you press, spell check, and that you've got your bibliography. I'll do another video which explains how to do a bibliography. Alright, so there's your rubric. This is the research chart which you must hand in. And that's more about the research chart, but you can have a look at that a bit later. Make sure that you have those. So this is your main part of the CAT. Alright, this section here is your main part. Alright, so just as an example, so this following PowerPoint is going to show you what to do and what not to do. So it's very basic and not a good example of a slide. So the next one is not very good. Alright? When you're looking at this particular slide, right? So let's have a look at this one here. This just goes through all the information that you have about pyramids, for example. Right? It's very basic. It doesn't flow. It doesn't actually answer the questions properly. Right? This section here talks about the artifact. These ones answer the questions. So if we go back, the first 4 are these questions. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one here, these questions here go through these ones. So all the things that you need to know that are right here as well. Alright, so it's very basic. You need to include more than that. Alright, so the next 2 slides are a better example of what you should do. The added information added is coloured blue. For adding more detailed and relevant information, these slides would be at least a standard. There is still more that you could do to make it better. Note, none of the information is copied and pasted. It was created by reading through the research and then the author going through the slides and writing down what information in their own words. This is what you're expected to do. So, see how it's added additional information, right, to expand upon your knowledge. Right, and then it goes into here. So, this is just the first couple of questions. That one number 2 may need to have more information on it, but you're expanding. So they are, oops, not that one. These questions, 1 to 3. So 1 to 3 here. And then what they've done on the second slide, they've talked about the artifact of the pyramids. And they've gone into more detail. So that's what you need to do. This is what it's expected. So, that's what you need to do. It won't be due until week 10 of this term. I will do more broken up ones, where videos when we get closer to the date. If you have any questions, please ask.